Welcome to the family with
Alex Brandt Bernard Rasmussen.
Andy Brandt Bernard.
Co-host Catherine Brandt.
and our special guest.
Super Bowl guest, Costaki Economopoulos.
Oh, we put
Did you forget for a minute?
I thought Tom was going to do it. I had to.
Ooh, am I?
No, I just
forgot my
wanted-
name.
We're going to figure out this intro sooner or later. We've only been doing this for 12 years. We'll get the intro figured out.
Why
One
can't
of
we
these
see
days.
Andy and Mom?
Dad now has the camera on a stack of books behind the computer.
Yeah, they
Sure
told
does.
me. They told me I have to do a head-on shot.
So you guys are just not there.
We got to plug that. We got to turn that on. Why can't we turn that on?
We can. Andy can plug that
Technically,
into
I
your
can.
laptop, I guess.
That's fine. Yeah, why don't you do that?
Okay.
Okay, so who is Mr. Beast?
He's a guy that just makes videos. It'll be like everyone has to put their hands on a car, and the last person to have their hand on the car gets to keep the car. Or he'll just he'll be like, I join streamers' chat rooms that have one viewer, and then I donate $10,000 to them to see their reaction.
Okay, so is
So
he
he
a
gives-
bajillionaire who just has money, or is
Yeah,
he
he has backing of a whole lot of very rich people. So they
Okay.
give him stuff to give away to people, and then other people watch the videos of him giving stuff away.
sounds like a
which-
great gig.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. He basically just buys viewers, and those viewers translate into more money than he started with to begin with.
Well, and the only reason why I even ever heard of him is because he tweeted that we found 100 stranded / abandoned dogs and spent over $1 million to find them loving homes. This is one of my favorite videos, so I hope you consider adopting a dog. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean,
He has a lot of money, and he spends money to make videos that
so
get him
he's
more money.
Not a jerk.
Well, no, he seems, like he does give a lot of money away to people, and it seems to be no strings attached. And he does there was a thing he did a year or two ago. He bought a bunch of surgeries for blind kids or something.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like
So, he's very corporate, astroturfy, very fake, but at least he's not making the world a worse place.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Well-
can't be too mad about it.
why would it cost $1 million to find 100 dogs homes?
Yeah, that seems, unless they're building the
doesn't make
homes
any
for these
sense.
dogs.
That seems like a lot, but
We built 100 dogs' houses.
yeah, it seems like
Indeed.
maybe it's
Luxury dog
markup.
houses.
It's markup. It's inflationary rates.
I actually had
I'll do it.
trouble recently with YouTube because I was dealing with some stuff with their monetization setup, and they were doubting my identity because on the page it's Costaki Economopoulos, and on my driver's license it's Konstantinos
Konstantinos, yep.
Economopoulos.
Oh yeah.
And I almost typed in do you think his mama named him Mr. Beast? Can you just look
Yeah.
at the picture and see
Yeah,
that
for
it matches
real.
the 800 videos that are on
Well,
your page?
Kostaki, you're not making YouTube millions and millions of
That's
dollars
true.
a day,
I am
so
not.
it's
Exactly.
different when
I am
you're...
certainly not.
Yeah.
Football jokes pay way less.
Well, Costaki only got 6 days till the big day.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I should mention that the Minnesota Twins have cut a deal with Bally Sports North, which doesn't sound like a very good deal to me, because apparently some of the games, up to a lot of the games, will not even be televised.
Oh.
So I don't know what that's all about. I haven't looked at it personally. I just heard about this on the morning show, and so I don't know how it's going to work or all the rest of it. But back in the day, wasn't presenting sports on your outlet, that was a big deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, still is. It's the only thing that keeps you from not being connected to modern streaming, right? You could
Yeah.
you can watch almost anything at your own pace and whatever crazy platform you got now. It's the only thing that's live that still gets huge numbers.
There you go. That's exactly right. So we'll see how it works out. But apparently, the people who looked at the setup don't like it very much. So I don't know what that means. I'll have to do that later on today. That makes sense, doesn't it?
I got a Distant Twins reference to my first couple of jokes here.
Ooh, I like it.
Here's a teaser, huh? Super Bowl week is tough on the players. You know this, right? They got this underlying anxiety the whole time. They got to meet with the media. They got to prep for the game. They got to sort out tickets for family. They got to bail their dad out of jail. You know, it's tough. It's a tough week.
Bailing your dad out of jail would be. I never had to do that.
Patrick Mahomes Sr. arrested Saturday in Texas for his third DUI.
Oh, God.
It's a shame Pat Jr. can't throw him a few bucks for an Uber or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why, Costaki? Why would he do that with all the millions of dollars rolling in?
It's crazy to me. You won the lottery. Like, get a
Yes.
driver, name him Bitterman, and live like Arthur for the rest of your life.
Bitterman. I love Bitterman. That's magnificent.
Now Mahomes Sr. has to change his name. He's going from Mahomes to Mahouse Arrest. Am I right, everybody?
Mahomes, Mahouse arrest. Take that home with you.
He should have explained to the cops, like, Brittany and Jackson were talking my ear off and driving me to drink. Sorry, sir. We understand. Let's get you home safe.
Yeah, there you go.
We totally
That works for
understand. So we're on the precipice here. We're on the verge of the 58th Super Bowl. And I believe this is the third one without Tom Brady. So that's nice.
Really? God, we're going deep now. Third one without Tom Brady being involved.
Average Super Bowl ticket price, a record $10,700.
God.
I mean, come on.
Sorry. What?
I know. That's about the same as a month's rent in Los Angeles. That's a lot of money.
I like that
That's
take.
insane.
I could get almost 2 hamburgers for that.
Can we get
You know,
Tom
man.
Brady in to do a little deflation on the pricing?
I believe I just noticed yesterday the very first Super Bowl tickets, and I can't remember even where the game was, were $15.
Oh, yeah. I used to do a joke about this in my act. The first tickets to the Super Bowl were $15, and it was not a sellout. That sounds like one of my shows.
Take that home with you. I love $15 and nobody shows up anyway. Yeah, there you go. I like that.
At this point, the Super Bowl is so expensive. Your best chance to see it live is to get really good at football and play in it. That's your best shot.
$10,700 a ticket.
That's a lot.
Oh, God.
Remember, you get a 13-minute Usher concert, too. That's,
Oh boy.
Oh, is that who the person is?
yeah, that's the person.
Ursher? Well, the worst part is the reason that they set it at that price is because people will pay that price. It's not like this is some made up number, that's some unreasonable number. It's what people are willing to
It's the
pay. They
market.
wouldn't,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. They wouldn't do it if they didn't think they could sell the tickets at that price. So,
Right.
Yeah.
and how many people can this stadium seat?
It's a good question. It's the new one in Vegas. It's Allegiant. I don't know what the seating capacity is, but it's at least 60,000. It's a big
Yeah, that's
number.
what I'm thinking. At least 60 G.
895,000 cubic yards.
It doesn't say how many seats.
That's definitely what I meant.
That's
Thank
very
you.
clear.
Thank you, Bing.
Cubic yards.
Cubic yards.
Who
baby.
would
What the hell
ever
kind of
even?
measure is that?
Yeah, who wants that stat?
I guess if you want to make it into a very big swimming pool,
Cubic yards.
Strange.
65,000.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
65,000 times 10,000. So 65,000 people out there are willing to pay $10,000 to watch football.
Even the
Yeah.
cheap seats?
Well, a lot of those seats are spoken for long before the
Oh,
tickets
absolutely.
are available. There's all these different corporate things and prizes and
Right. And
But
do
yeah.
season ticket holders for that stadium get to keep their seats?
no.
No.
think so.
Stupid question.
Stupid question.
Well, that team's not even in the game, So-
Oh.
and that game is. I mean, the Super Bowl. A friend of mine said this to me last week, and I never really thought of it this way, but it's true. He thinks of the AFC and NFC championship games as being the last week of football,
Yeah,
and then the Super Bowl is this other thing.
Yeah,
That's just
that's
this.
true.
The
right.
culture has embraced this other gigantic thing, and football is a tiny part of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what's amazing? I've never had the desire to go to a Super Bowl. None.
Well, you're not a big crowd guy.
No, I'm not a big crowd guy. That is
No.
true.
Right. Also, the purple team doesn't get there very often.
Oh, you had to bring that part up. Okay. Had to stab me right in the back.
Yeah, that's brand new information.
You didn't say which purple team.
They've never won a Super Bowl in 65 years. 65 years. They've never won a Super Bowl.
But we're not bitter.
No, not at all.
I know.
Go
The only time I would want to go is if my team was in it. My brother went to the 28-3 debacle. He was there for that live. He's a Falcons season ticket holder. And at the time, the ticket was around $3,000.
Jesus. And
Yeah,
now
it's
it's
crazy.
almost 11.
Yeah, it's nuts.
$11,000 to go watch a 3.5-hour game.
I think
Yeah.
that's just completely stupid.
It's hard to believe that it's even possible. That there,
Yeah.
Yeah,
there
sure
are enough
is.
people. But it's such a
Yeah.
if you're a football nerd, it's like, it's you do it once, it's your team. I understand how it works. And then of course, it's a playground for the wealthy as well.
Yeah.
I read there's a whole article this week floating around about how the private jet parking in Las Vegas is a problem.
Oh, yeah.
They're out of space.
There you go.
It's all booked up.
You see, generally, I don't like the term first world problems because it minimizes real problems, but I can't park my private jet is definitely.
Yeah,
I think they're just going to have to chop
That's
her
the
in.
epitome.
I mean, there's the
that-
answer.
yeah, that is
Just
about.
chop her in.
It's about as first world problem as it gets.
you can land. You just have to be dropped off there. They have
Yeah.
to fly back to
Yeah,
wherever you
like-
came from.
Yep.
Also, my other complaint about the Super Bowl, enough with the Roman numerals?
Yeah.
Yes.
LVIII. That sounds like the name of a singer I've never heard of who might be in the
Yeah.
halftime show.
Yeah. No one knows what any of it means.
Next year it's Super
1 to
Bowl
10.
LIX. If Kiss isn't the halftime show for LIX. I
Ooh,
don't know.
licks. I like it.
So we'll have had licks. We'll have had XXX. What else is
Yeah.
in the future for the Super Bowl? What other words can we spell?
They're going to have
Probably
to
a
start
lot.
with L for a while.
Yes.
That is true.
I'm going to start using Roman numerals to hide how old I am. I'm just going to answer. I'm LIV. You figure it out.
LIV, baby.
It's 50 plus 5 minus 1. It's Roman numerals are crazy.
Little 54 is good. That works.
Vegas, baby. Isn't it funny that Carrot Top looks like he's used more performance enhancing drugs than the lineman in the game?
I know he's weirdly muscular.
Really?
He's jacked.
Yeah,
When did that happen?
Yeah.
Like
He's
a
been
long
that way
time
for
ago,
a while.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has had a lot of face work done,
Oh.
it looks like.
What
Yes.
happened to him? He just disappeared.
Louis Anderson always said he was a really nice guy.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He
one of
always
his
really
good
liked
friends.
him.
I saw him before he was a big star, and he tore the roof off the place. It was electric, the energy he created in the
Really?
crowd. Yeah, he's good at what he does. He's very compelling.
I've only met him one time. He seemed like a nice guy.
Scott, his name is Scott. I met him after the show, and I was an open micer at the time, and he came to my college, and I saw him. Like I was running around doing stand up. I knew his name was Scott, and I passed him on the street, and I panicked because I had just seen his show and he was so good, and I could have said, "Hey Scott, enjoyed the set. I couldn't believe blah blah blah." You know what I said? "Hi, Carrot Top."
Oh, God.
Hi, Carrot Top.
That was
So
it.
how'd that work?
That was the whole exchange I had with him.
How was his exchange with you?
He was, he's running around. He was pretty young at the time, and so he was running around with the college kids after the show, drinking and carousing. I don't know.
Oh.
How old
Yeah.
is he now?
I'm gonna guess he was a little older than me at the time, so he's probably around 60.
he was born in '65.
Yeah.
So
he's
yeah,
59-ish.
just about.
He's 59, yeah. Or he's going to be 59.
He's had a residency in Vegas forever. He's been making a mountain of money.
Oh, good for him.
He's doing quite well for himself. I mean, if that's what you want. I
Go
don't know.
Gingers.
If that's your
Yeah, go-
thing.
Oh, God. Here
All right,
we
I've got a
go.
pitch for you guys. I've been pitching this for years. I want to hear what you think, Tom. I want an undercard game on Super Bowl Sunday. Your Central Time, right? So the kickoff is at 5:30 p.m., right?
Okay.
I want a 1 o'clock game that features the teams with the top 2 picks in the draft, and they play, and the winner gets the number 1 overall pick.
Ooh,
Bears, Commanders, winner gets Caleb Williams. What do you say?
I like it.
It'd be fun, right? Mm-hmm. Better than 7 hours of Super Bowl highlights from before past Super Bowls and whatever else they show on Super Bowl Sunday before the game. Here's a stat I've never heard until this week. Punxsutawney Phil has a 39% accuracy rate.
Really?
Not good.
It's not good.
Well, it's better than the weatherman.
True.
So
It's very true.
39% accuracy. The Falcons have since signed him to be their quarterback.
Oh, here we go. They got to get work the Falcons into this
That's our wheelhouse.
Had to do it.
39% success rate. Sometimes Phil sees his shadow and retreats, just like the Falcons offense.
He's not letting it go.
I got another one. The groundhog would be a better mascot for the Falcons because in Atlanta, the same thing happens over and over and over.
It was a good movie.
it was.
That is a great movie. The groundhog gave us 6 more weeks of winter, which could be worse. It could be 6 more Pro Bowls. That would be bad.
God, does anybody even watch that anymore?
I watched a little bit this year just to
Did
kind
you
of see what
really?
was going on. You know why it's sponsored by Verizon, Tom? Because you have to call around to find someone who cares that it's on.
Get on the horn.
Didn't the groundhog croak or something? Didn't something bad happen to it?
Well, I mean,
Once it's
groundhogs
dropped
don't
in-
live that long, so there's been many Punxsutawney
I
Phils.
think it they pulled it out of its burrow and
and it was
No.
dead.
no, and then
No,
She-
Oh no!
Oh, that's a
Look
tough,
at that camera angle.
that's a tough
And then it
PR
died.
moment.
didn't one of the governors of New York drop it and kill it
I
What?
think that might have happened too. Yes.
a couple of years ago?
What?
Yeah. What's his face? The guy
Yeah,
that had
I
all
think-
the drama.
You would think PETA would be getting called up.
Usually he's not
What's-
dropped and murdered.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Someone. Let's see. That was Bill De Blasio. Apparently,
Yeah,
he
Bill de
dropped.
There
that
is a
tracks.
I
He
know, it's like
dropped Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah,
And,
the elderly and groundhogs.
wow, it's way bigger than I thought it would be.
Yeah, they're
Groundhogs are huge.
They're huge.
Apparently,
Died?
Badger size. They're
Yeah.
huge.
they are.
Yeah, they're big.
He
Yeah.
dropped in 2014. De Blasio accidentally dropped the groundhog
Also,
and then died of internal hemorrhaging.
What?
10-month-old female.
That is a pretty fragile groundhog.
That
I'll
is
say
a
that
terrible
much.
So-
story.
Well, you drop things
Punxsutawney
on their heads. It's
Philippa.
not good.
I like how Mayor Bill De Blasio said he regretted the incident 100%.
What was he going
What
to
was
say?
he going to say? Thank God.
Thank, I'm happy it's
Oh, I
dead.
hated
Serves it right.
groundhogs.
Yeah, that'd be a bit weird.
I always like it
I
when
regretted it.
I always
80%.
like when
92%.
something happens, like, you know, some horrible tragedy happens and the local governor comes out and they're like, oh, yeah, train derailments are no good. It's like,
I know.
thanks for contributing.
True.
We never would have thought of that without you.
He was filled with 92% regret. The other 8% was like, F that groundhog.
Yeah.
I'm somewhat
like-
neutral, but
Who knew they were so slippery?
He just went away, didn't he? I haven't heard his name in years.
He's disgraced.
The
Yeah,
blonde.
how could you survive a campaign where that's in the advertising?
Yeah, disgraced politicians kind of go under a rock for about 10 years.
Well,
before
God.
they
Bill de
come back.
Blasio wants to raise your taxes. Bill de Blasio kills groundhogs.
well, God, remember Howard Dean, right? The Dean scream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all it took was him screaming, and that killed his campaign. Yeah! For like forever.
Remember that scream, though?
His career was over because he said, yeah, a little too loud for people.
He was excited.
He was excited.
That was his
Can't be excited.
Dukakis
Became-
tank moment.
Yeah, I mean, if you had told them this year that they would come in third in Iowa, they would have given anything for that.
Probably true.
Let her scream.
It is probably true. So you got your Chiefs. You know what's sad? Because I just realized I don't even know who the Chiefs are playing in the Super Bowl because I didn't. Once the Vikings caved in, I stopped watching.
It's the mighty San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, that's right. It's 49ers. There you go. So it's just repeats of other Super Bowl winners. That's great.
Yeah, I mean,
how it goes.
these are two. I think America wanted Ravens Lions if they were picking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
yep.
Bills. There's a few other teams that I think we would
Yep,
have been
Bills.
excited about seeing. Which is another, pushback for me on all the conspiracy theories or whatever. Like, even if you're jaded and suspicious, what's more likely? An elaborate conspiracy involving hundreds of people to fix the games that's been kept a perfect secret, or two people fall in love and the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl? Like, it's the best team. Of course, they're in the Super Bowl. They have the best quarterback. They have the best coach. They have a great defense. They play in a weak division. It's the Patriots all over again.
Yeah.
If the Panthers got to the Super Bowl, maybe you look around for some conspiracies. That's all I'm saying.
Or the Vikings.
The Vikings, see also Falcons, Commanders.
You and I have been suffering through this the entire 20 years I've known you.
I know our teams are terrible.
They're terrible.
And every year I say, why don't we pick some winners?
Right.
And see what happens.
Why don't we?
Why don't we just pick the good players? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I did spend 20 years rooting against Tom Brady, which was a very painful process. It was a dead end. I got on the bandwagon before it took off, in this case by accident. I became a little bit of a Chiefs fan a few years back because of the fantasy stuff. I have Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and so I started rooting for those guys. So I'm in this time on a good team. I like the Chiefs. I'm rooting for them.
Good.
I think they win by 10 or so. I think they're going to do well this week.
Yeah, kind of looks like it.
We got some coaches moving around.
Oh,
Dan Quinn is the new Commanders head coach. He's the perfect match for Washington, D.C. He's old, he's white, and you wind up thinking, this is the best we could do? This guy?
that's nice. It's very pleasant.
Commanders? I don't believe
Commanders.
I've ever even heard.
It's a horrible name, the Commanders. Was it McHale's Navy?
Were they something else before?
Yeah, they were the
were.
Redskins, right?
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
they were the Washington Redskins, and then they were the football team.
I forgot
and-
about the Commanders thing.
Well, they're the Commanders as of last year?
Yeah.
They're
Yep,
about
pretty
3 or
new.
4 years in. Yeah.
Has it been that long?
Yeah,
Wow.
they had a season where they didn't have a name,
Yeah.
and then they've had a couple of Commanders seasons, 2 or 3, somewhere in
Should
there.
have been renamed Blathering Politician. That would have been better for
But I have a question for you. Weren't the Vikings, didn't they just massacre everyone they came upon?
Yes, they did.
So why are we called the Vikings? Why are we a bunch of murdering psychopaths?
That's what a raider is. A raider is
That's
someone
true.
who comes in and
Yeah.
burns your town down.
That's
Right.
true.
But
Yeah,
hey,
Buccaneers too.
Buccaneers, yeah, exactly.
Buccaneers, yeah.
Buccaneers.
Not
Oilers,
great.
Oil's bad. We don't like
Oil's
oil
horrible.
anymore.
Real bad.
49ers. 49 is an unlucky number, probably.
Nice
For some
try.
people.
He's never given it up.
49ers against Chiefs sounds like an actual beef from American history. That could be like a real. That could have been an actual conflict that was happening.
Do you think they'll eventually? Well, I mean, there's no reason to give up the name the Chiefs. It's a good name, right? You're honoring the chief.
Yeah, it'll happen eventually.
It seems to have the right angle on it, right?
Yeah, and it's not just about Native Americans. The chief investor, the chief
Well,
financial
no,
officer.
it's about native chiefs. I'm
It's-
pretty sure.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I mean,
but-
they're
It's how you frame it, right? When I was a boy, the Atlanta Braves had a mascot named Chief Nakahoma,
I know it's wonderful.
and he had a teepee out in
Yep.
out in left field or whatever.
And they all did this. Remember that?
They would do that. and they would
Tomahawk
do
chop.
Oh, chop, yes.
Yeah.
And if they went for a long run without scoring, Chief Nakahoma would come out and do like a home run dance around the teepee.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't.
Yeah.
But why would you be offended by that? It's
I
nice.
think it
I
sounds
mean,
offensive.
That's a little bit over.
Come on.
Yeah, that's
I get why that had to go away, but they did keep the name and the basic premise of the thing, and the tomahawk is still the symbol, and
Well, the family looked it up, and I'm apparently mostly German and about a quarter British. Is it German and British? Is that what it was?
It's almost entirely
we
German.
looked it up. We
We did.
googled.
No, we did.
He did.
I-
No, we did that
23andMe.
23andMe thing.
Well, yeah,
years
that's
So-
ago.
looking it up.
Why don't they name it the Minnesota Bernards? And they could a lot of references to Hitler. You got the swastikas, the German deal.
love
Wouldn't that be just wonderful? Yeah, I would really love that. That'd be really great.
Well,
I
that's-
guess I see their point.
that's the thing. You got how cartoonish are you allowed to be with someone's culture?
Why aren't
Yeah.
there any German-themed football teams?
I don't know. You think there would be?
What would they be called?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a shoot stoffel
The Lederhosen?
pun.
Yeah, Lederhosen.
The Lederhosen. I like it.
Lederhosen.
He just goes,
Something with like
Oktoberfest.
schnitzel.
There's some great things in
Schnitzel.
German.
German words don't lend themselves well to English puns.
Autobahn. That's a word we know and like, right?
We
I
all,
thought
we all
about
know
the
the Autobahn.
Autobahn today already. I was driving on 169 in Shakopee and was like, I feel like I'm on the Autobahn.
But how about this? You name the team a German name, and then every time you score, while other teams get 7, you get 9.
And you get to sing Ein Prosit.
What do you think? Ein Prosit.
I enjoyed that very much.
Indeed.
You get 9.
You get 9.
The only German number anyone knows.
What was that comedian? We looked him up, the German comedian that said his joke was, "Take my wife. I command you."
I command you. That's right. Who was it? That guy was funny.
I don't know.
That German
That's
Klaus?
probably his one joke, and
Yeah.
Was it there was a comic who was huge in the 80s comedy boom, and his whole shtick was thick German accent.
Yep.
And he would do it for a few
That's-
minutes, and
yep.
then he would come out of it, and he wasn't German.
Oh.
He didn't speak. I don't know if that's the same comic or not.
Oh, gosh.
could be.
Klaus something.
That's the same guy. Yep,
What?
Is
that's
it?
Klaus?
Klaus. Who? What?
Yeah.
Klaus?
No way.
It wasn't Adolf?
I just remembered when
Klaus
we
Myers, yeah.
Klaus Myers.
I just remember when we went on our honeymoon, we went to Germany, went to Munich for part of it. And my brother-in-law was like, "Oh, you're going to go to Germany." And I was like, nobody sounds like that. And we get on the train. We spend the night on the train and we get into Germany. Like the moment we get on the train, one of the like people that works there, that's like, it's kind of like a
Attendant.
Tour
flight
guide
attendant
guy.
for train attendant. He was like, "Oh, if you need anything, you just push this button, beep, beep, beep." And I was like,
Yeah, German has it's got two. It's got shouting angry man, and it's got Uter from The Simpsons.
That's very
yeah, I
true.
was like, you sound like the pig from Sing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what the hell?
He was a great guy.
Oh, God. I had 2 great uncles. They were twins, and their names were Adolf and Ewald.
Oh man.
Very German.
That's pretty German.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
can't
that.
get more German than that.
Adolf and Ewald, the
That's
twins.
the last generation that could name someone Adolf.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, it was a super popular name.
It was.
It
It
was,
was
yeah,
like
back
one
in
of
the
the
day.
most popular
Yeah, it was like the
names.
John of Germany.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's true.
crazy. Crazy. One person could be so bad that it's over. You can't name
Right.
a child that ever again.
I was going to name Ethan Hirohito, but it just didn't work out.
Hirohito didn't work. Didn't work out too
A
well.
single guy ruined a mustache forever too. You can't
Yeah,
really.
that's true.
And why did he cut his mustache? There's a reason, because he had a full mustache.
Well, the myth, whether it's true or not, is because facial hair prevents a seal from your gas mask.
Oh, that's what it was.
So the only
That's-
facial
yep,
hair that would
yep.
fit inside a gas mask is a tiny little thing.
Wow.
That's what they're trying
Well,
to
because
say.
I mean, think about it. World War One. The entire thing was basically just everyone gassing each other.
Yeah,
Like
true.
the entire world was covered in mustard gas for like 5 years.
People.
It's
It
all
wasn't good.
People. That's the right response.
Like imagining everyone's choking to death in a foxhole full of mustard gas, and someone just comes out and goes, "People."
Knock it off.
worked for me. So, Costaki, you're not going to be on again until after the Super Bowl. So, do you have a pick?
He'll be on next week, right?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up in a
Yeah,
week.
we'll wrap up next week, and then it'll be like a month or so.
Yeah,
I
but
think-
the game's Sunday, so
Chiefs 30, Niners 20. I think the Chiefs win
30-20.
30-20.
I bet
I
you
mean,
that's
it's
gonna be pretty
football.
close.
It could be anything, but that's what
Yeah.
that's what I think. If I had to bet, I would bet Chiefs win.
I'm gonna go 150-0.
150 to nothing.
Oh,
There you go.
Fight the game.
Those are some long odds. You're gonna make a lot of money if you bet on
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna put 1 cent on those odds.
That's
And, hey,
hey, it was just a few years ago. Somebody won a boatload of money on first score safety, and they hiked the ball over
Really?
Peyton Manning's head, and it was a safety to open the Super Bowl.
Oh.
That doesn't happen often.
No, not at all.
the biggest point difference ever in a Super Bowl apparently was only 45 points.
45.
Well, I say
That's a lot.
only
That's a
is
lot of
it's
points.
still a lot of points, but it's nothing.
Not
It's,
basketball.
it's no 150-0 though.
Was that Niners?
Yes, over the Broncos,
When
55
I was
to
a kid,
10.
I remember that.
When I was a
1990.
kid, I feel like
5-10.
the Niners were kicking everyone's ass for a while there. Wow, that's amazing. 45 points. That's a
Yeah.
big.
That is.
45
It's embarrassing.
spread.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hang your head and shame stuff.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm sure there's no slaughter rule in the Super Bowl, but at some point you just give up, don't you?
Yeah, can we just quit?
Yeah, you got 10 minutes left and you're 40 points down. Do you even try?
Yeah.
Just
one
have
of the-
fun with it.
It's one of the silliest things left in the NFL is that when they'll still keep the starting quarterback in those moments. Like someone's going to get hurt, and it's so dumb that you're even trying at this point. Yeah, at least in college softball, they would, if you were losing by 10 runs, they would let you stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's enough.
Mercy rule. Like, all right, we're all drunk anyway. Let's go home.
Yeah.
That was a softball deal. Did you ever play softball, Costaki?
Just in that situation, not otherwise.
Just drinking it up and having a
Yeah,
good time.
like idiot dorm level softball.
God, that was fun, though.
Yeah, right.
It was a lot of fun, no question about it.
I miss so much about college, and then I realized like most of what I miss is being 23.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like I miss being able to eat Leanne Chin without feeling awful for 3 days afterwards. That's really what I miss.
Yeah, I miss
Really
no
not having
hangovers. I
any
miss
responsibilities, really.
being filled with hope and promise.
Yeah, I mean, if someone said right now, well, I mean, like technically speaking, any of us could go back and get like a graduate degree.
Yeah,
There's a reason we don't. It's because that would suck.
Right.
Because it's not college that we miss.
right.
No.
I'm gonna
It's,
see what Tim Lammers thinks about all this.
Oh, Timmy joining us. Look at that.
All right.
Tim's got a graduate degree.
You have a graduate degree?
Oh, no.
Oh,
No
okay,
sound.
no-
You don't have sound either.
If you
You have to
can
turn
hear
your mic
us.
on.
Mike generally needs to go on.
Mic is off.
Speak.
Yeah, you're muted in StreamYard. You have to unmute yourself. But Alex can't.
Cool.
Alex can mute you, but if you muted yourself, she can't
your
unmute you.
guest. Yeah, I can't unmute you.
He's working hard on it. So I have a
Can
question
he hear
for
us?
while he's working
He
on
should be
it.
able to hear us. Yes.
While he's working on it, I want to ask a question. So when I was a little kid, league was the whole deal. I mean, league baseball, like
League of Legends.
I'm not going to be able to get this out, am I?
I got it now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, so we started off with league ball. I found out I wasn't good enough to play on the St. Joseph's team. And then later on, softball came along. And then I went and spent a lot of time in Chicago in the 1970s. The first time you ever saw kitten ball, didn't you just go, what the hell is that now?
I still don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either.
Never
No,
heard of that in my
Stocky,
life.
you know what kitten ball is, Timmy. You know kitten ball, don't you?
No, was it a
idea.
giant
Oh,
ball?
it-
like
Honest to
softball?
God, the ball is this big, and it's called kitten ball. They don't wear gloves. They would use a bat. It's Chicago only, I think, is the only place it's played. And if you could find
17-inch ball.
17-inch ball, it's huge.
Bigger than a dodgeball.
Yeah.
I've seen it certainly, but I didn't know it was called kitten ball.
Yeah, kitten
Yeah,
ball.
apparently it
is
was very,
It's like softball.
very
meets kickball.
short-lived.
the name. Oh, really? It's only in
Oh,
the
they don't play it
70s?
anymore? Kitten ball's not all the rage?
No, apparently not.
Not even in Chicago?
The first rules were published in 1889.
There you go.
Yeah, 1895. Oh, it was a Minneapolis thing.
Oh, Minneapolis. I think it was in
Lewis
Chicago.
Rober Sr. of Minneapolis organized it, and he invented it in 1895 for firefighters. It's like an exercise for firefighters.
What happened? How did it end up in Chicago then?
Relatively close, I suppose.
I suppose
One of them just
450
hit the ball too hard, ended up in Chicago, and
Then
the
the
rest
then
is
the
history.
big ball went up on the wire, and they did the thing with the fire hoses.
Exactly. Somebody got electrocuted, and that was it.
It was
What
the
is that
pickleball of its
exercise
time.
that they do that with the fire hoses and the big ball? What that is something, isn't it? Don't they train that way or
I
something?
think so, yeah. I think you're right. So Costaki and Timmy Lammers on at the same time. What do you think of that action?
I've never met you, Costaki. I don't know if we've been on at the same time.
I don't think so. I know your name from knocking around.
Yeah, yours as well. Hope and
Nice.
promise. I heard that before. That was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny.
He's so spot on. 23 when there was hope and promise.
Your whole
Yeah.
future's ahead of you.
I have to ask you something, Kostaki. Now, you're a big Atlanta fan, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Try to
so
be.
did you ever see the movie 80 for Brady?
No, I didn't. And curiously enough, my 5-year-old's friend's mom wrote it, and I've hung out with her at a
What?
party.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah,
We-
she's a
we
writer
actually-
here in LA.
Yeah, we
And-
watched it a couple of years ago.
But I couldn't bring myself to go because
Well-
it's about the worst day of sports in my life.
No,
That's just it. It's a fictionalized look at Tom
Yeah.
Brady, but they happen to set it on the Super Bowl where the Patriots came back against the Falcons.
Yep.
Yeah. And
So
I
I
know
thought
it's
nobody in
just,
Atlanta is
it's
going to
really
like
just
this
a
movie.
buddy comedy where they grab Tom Brady to make it
Yeah.
makeable, but
Yeah.
I still can't bring myself to
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
watch a
it's like-
movie that's about that game.
I would have loved to have seen the box office in Atlanta for that movie because it's like everywhere else maybe you'd like it, but oh man,
That would be a
relive that
funny
moment-
thing to look at, like a bar graph where it's like here, then Atlanta, it's here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
seriously.
Find that.
It's a good airplane movie.
Yeah, it's not the best movie I've ever seen,
But it's a good airplane.
but I also
movie.
don't really care about football or
Yeah.
80-year-olds.
Or old
There you go.
ladies on a car trip.
Exactly. It's not
the
really
reason
my demographic.
The reason I thought about it was how many movies are actually set during the Super Bowl, because Bob Sansevier and I were talking about this yesterday. And, yeah, there are a lot of football movies, obviously, but what is it? That one with the Jack Ryan one with Ben Affleck, where the Vikings were actually in the Super Bowl and then the Super Bowl got nuked. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, the Vikings were the team in it. I think it was the Vikings and the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the big tie-in there is that who's the writer? Who's the writer of the Jack Ryan stuff?
Oh, Tom
The guy that tried to
Clancy?
buy the Vikings, Tom Clancy.
Clancy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So you're saying that the likelihood of the Vikings winning are about the same as being nuked.
yeah, well, it's one of those deals where the Vikings are actually they're crushing it in the Super Bowl, and then we get nuked. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of eliminates those chances forever.
So fiction. Basically, you're talking fiction here.
Fiction, yes, thank God it's fiction. But apart from
Vikings-
that, I mean, is it Bloody Sunday or something? I mean, there's just not many set, during in and around the Super Bowl.
I
Right.
can't think of any other than that one. Yeah.
What's the one with? Wasn't there a Burt Reynolds one about football?
That was the longest yard.
I was in a
Longest year.
prison.
It was a prison deal. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
There's draft day.
Draft day, yeah, but that's all. Some people say it's a giant commercial for NFL Draft Day, as if it needs any more attention. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. It's actually a great movie with Kevin Costner.
It's fun. It's a little kooky and unrealistic, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's entertaining. You
Right,
know,
right.
and and then oddly enough about that movie, you had a relative unknown at that point named Chadwick Boseman, who was a
Mhm,
supporting
right.
actor
Right.
at the time. And then there was also the quarterback that the Browns were looking at drafting was basically a carbon copy of Johnny Football. So
Oh.
yeah. So it's an entertaining movie, but again, that's set around draft day. What about the actual Super Bowl? There's just not that many.
I can find two: Heaven Can Wait
Oh yes,
and 2-Minute Warning, which are
Oh,
both
okay.
from the late 70s. Interestingly,
There you go.
yeah. 2-Minute Warning is like a guy plans to attack the Super Bowl, and then they stop him. The end.
and I think the Jack Ryan one is actually the sum of all fears, if I'm thinking right.
You should write trailers, Andy.
You should write trailers, Andy.
One man gets thwarted,
Thwarted.
and
a
then the
world.
movie ends. The end.
All right, Kostaki's only got a minute or two left, so I want you, since we have this hookup now between Lammers and Economopolis, Kostaki, what is your favorite TV show? Do you have one?
I think the best television show in the history of American television is West Wing. The first 4 years of West Wing are unbelievable. Aaron Sorkin is a crazy genius. But mostly I like sitcoms, the good ones from way back, MASH
Sure.
and
Yep.
Cheers and Frasier and Family Ties, and Simpsons and Archie Bunker and,
God, is everything.
Curb Your
You're right.
Enthusiasm. That's my taste generally. But West Wing is, man, they knocked it out of the park. That's a great one.
They did indeed. What do you think, Timmy?
Well, it's interesting that I wrote you that text and about Feud, the second season of Feud after the first season, which was 7 years ago. They took their time in
Sure
between.
did.
But I think one series that is perfectly executed is Feud, Betty versus Joan. What an amazing
That was a good
limited
show.
series that
Yeah.
is. Oh my God, yeah. And I don't think Capote versus the Swans will ever reach that level, but it is damn good.
Oh, it's really
is.
good.
Yeah,
The acting is
two
amazing.
episodes so far, and the actor. I am so thrilled that Tom Hollander,
Yep.
who has been around forever. I certainly recognize him from films like Bohemian Rhapsody. You know, he's a supporting character guy. He was, I don't know if he wasn't a manager, but he was tied in with Queen. And then there was another one he did called The Night Manager with Tom Hiddleston
Right.
a few years back. But he plays Truman Capote, which,
Nails
you're
it.
preceded by, when you're preceded by the late, great Philip Seymour Hoffman, man. That's a tough one to pull off, but man, does he pull this show off. I mean, the Capote deal. So, yeah, I would say, again, just because it's so recent in my memory, that is one of my all-time favorites, the first season of Feud.
I can see that.
He's behind you.
I got two jokes left, Tom. I got one that'll make Catherine wince. I haven't done one of those yet today.
Great.
And then I got one
Penis.
wordplay joke. I got these. I got to do at
Okay.
least one of each of these every segment.
I love it.
All right, Philly is opening next season in Brazil. Where the Eagles aren't the only thing that's bald. You know what I'm saying? Brazil. Come on, Catherine.
She's wincing.
And finally, Le'Veon Bell wants to make a comeback to the NFL. He should sign in Philadelphia. It's the perfect place for a bell that's not working. Good night, everybody.
Yeah,
Crack. Bell, let's crack. That's very nice.
it's very cracked.
Very, very cracked, as a matter of fact.
Go
Kostaki,
Chiefs.
brilliant report.
Thanks, guys. Always a pleasure. I'll talk to you in a week. Enjoy
Sounds
the
great.
game.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Kostaki Economopoulos, ladies and gentlemen. Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. We'll hear from him on Monday or Tuesday. He's going to be on Tuesday, isn't he?
Yes.
Okay, Tuesday.
So the Super
As
Bowl's
usual.
this Sunday?
Yes, sir.
Didn't even know.
It is
Are we going to
indeed.
do anything for it?
I don't know. Maybe we'll make some nachos.
Oh,
Just make some
boy.
nachos,
And
but
some
not
wings.
watch the Super Bowl. We'll,
Well-
We'll make all the food.
we'll just eat nachos with a TV turned
Yes.
off.
The big thing about the Super Bowl for me, I mean, yeah, apart from when was it? The mid 70s? At the late 70s, the Vikings were in it. So really no reason to watch it otherwise.
Right.
Is the commercials. But now it's like you're getting snippets of all. There's no surprise anymore.
Yeah.
You already know
No.
what's going to happen, so you can see the ads ahead of time. So it's like, well, it kind of defeats the whole purpose. I mean,
Yeah.
take away the anticipation, and what the heck is there?
Right. The
But
Puppy
Tim-
Bowl is always good.
Puppy Bowl.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah,
Always
I
a
love the
reason
Puppy
to
Bowl.
live.
Oh, I actually, that'll be a really good thing for Ethan to watch, I think. The Puppy Bowl.
Oh, God.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
This
I
year,
like
he's
that.
2 years old. It's the perfect age for him
Oh,
to watch
yeah.
the Puppy Bowl.
I mean,
Puppy Bowl.
2
Is
plus.
that on the same day as the Super Bowl?
It's
Yes.
on during the Super Bowl,
Before-
I
it's
think.
before the Super Bowl.
Oh, it's before
Animal
it.
Planet. Is that where it is?
yeah, on
Animal
Animal
Planet?
Planet. It's like
Oh yeah,
the
we got to
morning.
find out if we can watch that at our place. If not, we'll have to come over here and have a viewing party for the
Yeah.
Puppy Bowl.
And
The
it's
Puppy
live.
You
Bowl.
can always YouTube it too. Like it's always.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Yesterday or 2 days ago, Melissa was scrolling through Instagram and she came upon this video. It's just like cats hitting each other. Like two
Oh,
cats would just be
God.
laying there, and then all of a sudden one would just turn around and smack another cat
Sounds
for
like
no
a-
reason.
sounds
That's,
like a cat.
as cats do. And Ethan was just laughing so hard
Yeah,
at this.
he was laughing.
Every time a cat would hit another cat, he thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
Well, he likes to hit people, so it's all
well,
ties
that's
in.
true. So I mean, yeah, animals being crazy.
Yeah.
It's right up his alley.
No question. But Timmy, honest to God, your recommendations lately, and the latest one being Tom Hollander in Feud Capote versus the Swans, that show is phenomenal.
He's got that thing kind of going like the guy
He
in
does.
What was it? That show, Blackbird. Paul Walter Hauser.
Oh, yeah.
Is the serial killer who talks
Oh,
like this
yeah.
all the time. And I never realized how close he was to Truman Capote. But my God,
nails
he's actually there's another actor who I mean, his name is Toby Jones, and a very, very prolific character actor, shorter guy. He played Truman Capote as well in, I think it was a cable movie. So really, apart from Philip Seymour Hoffman and Toby Jones, nobody has really tackled the role.
No.
And you know, the other thing is 7 years since Feud, Betty and Joan.
Right.
I do believe, and think about the timing of this, if it would have happened. I believe there were discussions about Feud, Prince Charles versus Diana.
Oh, yeah.
But that was years ago. So whatever the case may be, it fell apart because I would
Yeah,
imagine.
well, they've done The Crown. The last season of The Crown deals a lot with the divorce and Diana's
Yeah.
death, and I think that kind of maybe is done to death right now.
Yeah, and you know, and the other thing that you're encountering there is the royals getting pissed off at you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And getting to the point where you have to put a disclaimer up there in front of it saying this is part fictionalized or whatever. But yeah, the Charles Diana talk for Feud actually was happening around the time the first season came out. I couldn't believe it was 2017.
Yeah.
But boy, I think they really found a winning combination with this because obviously we all know who Truman Capote is, and unless you lived in New York at the time, you're not going to know who the hell these high society people are.
No.
Right.
No.
A
Right.
bunch of highfalutin a-holes, really.
Really.
And what
Yes.
for those who are listening or watching who haven't seen it yet, basically Capote, after he wrote In Cold Blood and Breakfast at Tiffany's, he was also a writer for Esquire and kind of a celebrity gossip columnist. And he had this close bond with all these socialites who had troubles of their own, big time troubles. Treat Williams, God bless his soul. That's crazy. to
Oh,
see
yeah, he
him
just died.
in this series. Naomi Watts is married to his character, and he's like a political guy. I don't know what he is. He's very, very powerful.
I think he didn't he run a network? I thought he was a network guy.
I'm not sure what he does, but he had some deep ties and deep pockets. So anyway, his wife shared all of his shilly-shelling he was doing, you know.
Whoops.
Yeah, and Truman says, "No, it's just between me and you." Well, then Truman, who is dissatisfied with his own lover, takes up another one who encourages him to write about this in Esquire, and
Right.
not only about Treat Williams, Naomi Watts' character, but Diane Lane's character, and he just airs all of their dirty laundry in Esquire magazine, and they want him gone. They don't want him dead, but they want to ruin him. So the first two episodes, you know, get to the point where I don't know if they're even plotting yet how they're actually going to do it. But man, what a great series! And I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but somebody from Minnesota turns up in a short cameo deal, and it's like I was so thrilled that she was there.
Really?
Yeah, well, it's Jessica. Jessica Lange turns up.
Oh,
she does?
Oh, God, they really dragged everybody into this.
Yeah, because she's a big Ryan Murphy person. I mean, she did the American Horror Story with him. She was Joan Crawford.
Does she still live in Stillwater?
I don't
think so.
I
No, not
don't
anymore.
think so.
I think that was like 5 husbands ago or something.
Yeah.
She's had a few. That's
She was
true.
here with Sam Shepard, I know.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think
yep.
that's
Yep.
And
Are we still
Sam
talking
has-
about Jessica Lange?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where does she
Uh-oh.
live?
How many times has she been married?
I don't think
She
more-
often returns to Duluth, but yeah, I don't think she lives here anymore, and I don't think she has for a long time.
Probably not.
She has only been married twice. Well, she's only been married once,
to-
Oh, well, I mean,
Sam
she's had a
Shepard.
lot of
but
Or
she's
what
had
she-
live-in
partners.
boyfriends.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Yep. She's just had one spouse, and then she's had 2 partners, whatever that means.
Oh,
Was Sam a
that's
partner or was he
Sam was a partner.
he was
Oh,
a partner.
was he?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, and she was with him for 27 years.
not- Oh, wow. That's a
Who's
good
that?
run for a Hollywood
For
actress.
Hollywood, that's a huge
Yeah,
one.
yeah. There was a farm movie that they did a long time ago. Was it called Country? What the heck was it called?
Yes, it was called Country.
Yeah. And I don't know if that was the beginning of the relationship or whatever, but yeah, she's actually from Cloquet.
Yeah, Cloquet,
So
Minnesota.
that's
Yeah.
why she
It's
probably.
pronounced croquet.
Cloquet,
And
Cloquet,
Alex got it right.
Cloquet.
Cloquet.
And yeah, so that's probably why she goes to Duluth, because
Yeah.
Cloquet really isn't that big.
No, it's not.
Oh, I like this. Where does Jessica Lange live? Places lived: Paris, Madrid, New York City. So apparently she's lived all over the place.
Stillwater,
yeah.
Minnesota.
Stillwater.
But no, she. I think she lives in New York City.
But
mainly.
just the short time she turns up in Feud, the second season, it's like, wow, she just knocks all the pins down. She mows them down.
Really?
I mean, and Tom Hollander, you know, he it's a scene with him, and it's just amazing. Again, you know, just stepping in the shoes of I don't want to push Toby Jones aside, but let's just face it, Philip Seymour Hoffman was so phenomenal in that role. I mean, you know, it's got to be a daunting thing to do.
Sure.
Make the character your own, really, because there's no way you don't get in it to be better than somebody. You just got to give it your own take. And yes, he has the Truman thing going.
Yeah, he has him down really
And
well.
and it's a pretty amazing. I mean, you look. I looked at a short YouTube video about his best interviews, and there was a lot of him appearing on Dick Cavett and stuff like that, where it's like, you know what, these guys, they really, you know, Hollander and Hoffman, they really got it down. They
Yeah.
really got his voice down.
Yeah, they did.
That was Demi Moore was
Oh
in
my
the first
God.
episode, but they killed her off, so I don't know if she comes back or not.
Well, she can always turn up, and you know, because obviously there are flashback scenes. The series actually starts in '85, so in a way, it's kind of a flashback.
Oh, okay.
But you also, I mean, Molly Ringwald, Callista Flockhart,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Diane Lane,
Yeah.
Chloe Savini. I mean, just a powerhouse cast.
right.
And you know, I don't know, they just really capture the essence of that era. You know, which that's an amazing thing to do when you can go back and make something feel like the '70s, kind of in the way I'm going to talk about again, the Holdovers, early 1970s, and to capture that feel is really, really an amazing thing.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that Truman Capote wasn't a more prolific writer than he was. What did he only have? He had 3 books?
Yeah, you know, I don't even know. I mean,
Yeah, I think he had one before In Cold Blood, or maybe it was Breakfast at Tiffany's before In Cold Blood.
well,
And then
that's
they published one after he died that he never finished.
well, and that's the whole premise of this. He's trying to get. There's an argument in the first episode with his publisher about being, you know, missing deadlines and all that stuff, and maybe that was the actual book. Then who knows?
I think
Because-
it was.
Yeah, it might have been. And then Breakfast at Tiffany's, was that actually a book? Because I know he wrote the screenplay as well.
It was a novella, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
And that was 1958, so it was well before In Cold Blood.
I wonder if he had anything to do with casting Mickey Rooney in that role. Jesus.
God, Mickey Rooney.
As the Japanese neighbor. Oh my god.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
That's
my.
right.
Oh yeah,
Such a weird decision. It's like, why?
Oh,
I've seen that movie so many times, and every time I'm like,
why?
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
Goes,
Did you ever interview Mickey Rooney?
One time, yeah, many years ago, like 40 years ago.
It was well, I'm trying to think how long ago it was, but you know, there was this controversy over his allegedly wife having say over everything he did.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's like you get an opportunity. It's like Mickey Rooney. It's like I got to take this.
Yeah.
But it was about the anniversary of Boyd's Town or something like that. And you would ask him about Judy Garland. I only want to talk about Boyd's Town. I'm just talking about Boyd's Town. So any other project of his that you brought up, I want to talk about Boyd's Town. It was just one of the worst interviews ever. It was kind of disappointing, you know.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know if who was instructing. I mean, come on, man. You get actors on, if they're very, very well known, you're bound to ask them about past projects or whatever.
Sure.
It's just part of the gig, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ultimately, if you're promoting something, it's only helping. You know, it only helps to me, unless, you know, I know some people that will avoid the film altogether, and that's never a good idea. But certainly, it's not out of line to ask a couple questions that aren't related to a film.
Right.
But he was just terrible. He was terrible, man.
He was just terrible. That's not.
Oh, it's sad, because you think you talk to somebody. And another guy, this wasn't actually an interview more than it was a conference call. Who played Cosmo? Donald O'Connor in Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
And he just didn't, his mind was not really there. Which was sad. That was more, it wasn't, I'm not going to knock him at all. It was just sad that at that point in his life, he really wasn't comprehending much of what you were asking him.
Oh,
And so that was sad. So that, but the definitely, I won't say hate, but just really disappointed was Miss Mickey Rooney. Oh yeah. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
I would have asked him. I said, what the hell were you thinking with the Breakfast at Tiffany's role? That's what I should have asked him.
That was amazing. There's no question about it. A little offensive, just a little.
How far are you with Griselda?
3.
Yeah, we just watched the third one.
That's where I'm at.
I have a feeling bad things are going to happen in
think
episode
so.
4.
Well,
What's coming?
it's part Tony Montana and Scarface. It's part Walter White in Breaking Bad. It's this whole coming from, and Scarface coming from that very humble beginning and getting a taste of it, and then things spin out of control like there's no tomorrow. And I'm not quite to that point yet. So yeah, I think that's episode 3, but I think it's going to go there.
Yep.
It's going to go there. And
Great show.
Isn't it great though when somebody like Sofia Vergara just comes in and completely transforms herself into this dramatic powerhouse.
I got to wonder if she's a better actress in her native tongue than if she was trying to speak, because most of the time she's speaking Spanish.
Yeah, and most of the series, really, if you think about it, is in Spanish.
It is, yeah. Yep, it is. Really terrific.
Yeah. And so that's no big deal for me because I'm so deaf that I have subtitles on every.
You don't care.
People say I hate foreign films. Like, doesn't matter to me, man. I've been on captions for years. This is par for the course for me.
Timmy, another brilliant report, Pally.
Well, thank you so much. I am going to be talking more about Feud, Capote versus the Swans for on Friday with you because it is just it's so great when series like that come along.
Yep,
and for folks that haven't heard of it, you can see it on FX Now or FX on Hulu, which basically means it'll air on FX and then the next day it's on Hulu. So check it out.
Makes sense.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk to you Friday, pal.
All right. Have a good week. See ya.
You too,
You
Timmy.
too,
Timmy
bye.
Lammers, ladies and gentlemen. Any closing words from the family?
Closing words.
Look at this. Look at that screen.
Toby Keith died. Did you know that?
Toby Keith died
Yep.
at, what, 62 years old?
Yeah, not
he
very
had
old.
Stomach cancer.
Stomach cancer, yep.
Yeah, he just died. I
Died
know. I
yesterday.
was shocked.
Oh, weird.
that
Yeah, he
one.
was young.
He did not look too healthy, his last picture, I will
really?
tell you that.
No.
Oh, man.
My grandmother got stomach cancer in her high 80s and had surgery and lived another 5 years.
Yeah,
Didn't JB have stomach cancer or something?
I don't remember that.
No.
Stomach cancer.
Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
I don't.
I swear someone we knew had stomach cancer.
You should probably edit that out.
Didn't Bill have a hernia?
Guess so.
get rid of that.
All right, let's wrap it up. That's going to do it. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.